Hello, good evening. Once again, I welcome you to this broadcast. Today, we are going to look at the life cycle for business and funding. We want to see where funding comes in at hand for any type of business, because cash is a resource that is very key to a business, and it gives life to a business. The working capital of the business will determine how far the business will go on into the future. So remember the past videos, I discussed with you that the cash flow, the working capital of the business, is like blood to a human being. Without the blood, there's no life. So cash is key to push your business to the next level. You want to see the life cycle of a business from inception up to the last stages of decline. Remember, a business can either decline or can acquire a new life. A business can reinvent itself. It can acquire a new life, especially where there is funding, there is strategy, there is a lot of innovation that is applied to a business. And all these things are hinged on the fact that there is a funding. So we want to look at a special kind of graph to show how these things play out. So if you look at this graph, you'll see on the vertical axis there is the cash, and then on the horizontal there is the time in years. So the first stage, you look at the launch of the business, with the second stage, the growth, and then check out where competition is coming in to eat into the market. After that, we see maturity and then decline of the business. So when the business starts, so during the launch, we see some things happening. The sales begin to peak. You can see the graph for sales. The sales is going up until maturity, and then it hits the decline stage. So you can see how the graph goes on. The second part, you see profit. It begins in the dip until we get to the break even, where we are not getting losses, we are not getting profits. And then after that, we begin to experience growth. That's where we begin to get profits. But you can see the graph is going until we get to the maturity. After checkout, you see there's a decline in the profits of the business. So that's how it works out. So you see the business declining. Now, even the cash is more deepening than the profit. This is where we introduce funding to the business. Most people introduce funding to the business to sustain it, just to make it move forward. However, we want to look at another dimension we have in business, that after decline, a company can acquire a life of its own. After decline, a company can get a new life through innovation, through strategy, diversification. So there is a life cycle extension. After decline, a business can acquire a life cycle extension done by employing one strategy we call geographical diversification. This is where now the company begins to go into other territories. I'm assuming you operate in one region, one township. A company begins to move into other regions for the sake of tapping into new markets, so that their sales are able to increase. So growth in sales can prompt a company to move into new markets. We call it geographical diversification. On the other hand, a company can diversify their products. You find innovative products coming on board. They begin to add to what they're already what already existed in the market. This can be a form of technology. A company can buy new technology so that whatever products they were offering in the market, now technology comes to boost the functionality of the products. So we have geographical diversification, we have product diversification, and then you have technology. And nowadays you'll tend to discover that most products are acquiring a dimension of technology. The world is going the digital way. So if you find yourself left behind, it means you need to acquire a new innovation. That's where funding comes in. Funding comes in so that a company can acquire a new life. It's called an extension of life. An extension of life, especially where you find yourself declining. These things happen after competition has come in. You discover your market share is shrinking very quickly. Customers are going elsewhere. It means that you will need to move into other things like diversification, innovation, and it will need you to look for alternative sources of funding. This is where companies borrow loans, heavy commercial loans. This is where companies go for IPO, initial public offering. This is where companies are able to sell their shares and shake hands with the new shareholders. You seed your shares so that you can bring in other partners in the company who are able to do what we call recapitalization. Adding more capital, injecting new capital in the business so that a business can acquire a new strength. A business can acquire a new kind of vitality to push the products to a new frontier. So funding is not just any traditional ways a business operates. Funding is there to push the company and the business to the next level, especially where you discover there is a decline in the sales revenue of the company. So funding is a way of not only survival for businesses, but is for a business to acquire a new life of its own. Thank you so much. I welcome you to subscribe and share, like our broadcast. See you in the next video.